Hello, Collective. This is a timeless love variant reading where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life, or you may just be here because there's something that might intrigue you within this reading. Please bear in mind that this is a general collective reading. This is not tailored for you, so use your discernment to take the pieces of the reading that belongs to you as you leave other aspects of the reading behind as you leave the reading behind. A few other things while we get ready for the reading. I am Master Seventh, aka Seventh, that reads these energies for you should you want to know who she is, what she's all about, and what I have to offer. My details can be found in the description box below. A little bit of clarity. I am a remote wellness master healer and a tarot intuitive reader. I have two YouTube channels, this one and my sister channel. The link is made available in the description box below as well. All the content on both of my channels are there for timeless viewing pleasures. I am in a current, let's say, revamp of some kind, as I am in a very profitable position to kind of see how this channel could take off and however I decide to take the reins moving forward. So I'm a bit in that birthing zone at the moment, so just feel free to link up on either of my channels to see if any of the future content is for you. All right, anyway, so this is a love variant reading, okay? This is, again, however love may show up in your life, however it is absent or present in your life, however the story may seem fit. Feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific, and future energetical timelines could always come forth as well as past and present. Again, remember, this is not your reading. This is a general collective reading. If you'd like a reading, please check out the description box below or find a way to contact me and we can discuss. All right? So we're starting off strong here with the love variant reading here. You know, there's no cookie cutter form of how you want things done. I think that's the message. There's no clear way on how you want things done. I think you want to know the end goal. Application, you know, some of y'all, the end goal is to rejuvenate a marriage, to end a marriage, to finalize divorce, to end the longevity of singleness and be partnered, you know, branch out into different possibilities and sense of expression, or chiseling back and wheeling things in. There are no cookie cutter form ways of addressing these desires of yours. There is nothing that seems to really allow a fresh, clean slate to really take place. You know, it's like if it's the ongoing tale that after seeing this reader for a few years, that the same question you've had keeps coming up with the same answers, and maybe it's time to maybe replenish that perspective and get you thinking about that. Because one, if there's been the same question and you get the same answers over same of a lot of energy and time and attention and detail in regards to this question, then maybe it's time to understand that whatever answers you have for that question is an answer, because it needs to be done. It needs to be dotted, chapter done, written, moving on. Like, and there's something that's stringing you along. And whether it's the energies of the reader that is essentially is also feeding that narrative somehow, right? Because it's a reality that is a reality, okay? It is your reality. So reality is within your reality. No one can diminish your reality. You also don't have to justify your reality. However, there has to be an existence that permeates of it taking space that is honest and pure, or at least on the path of curiosity of being desirably pure, because we're not born pure. So the idea of needing to remain pure or to only be pure or this way is the pure way is 1,000% illogical. And most often than not, teeters the line of the contradiction of how most of the societal ways that you've maybe gotten your identity from is now the contradictory and contradicting force to your reality. And now it's like your breath of panic is asking you to almost lean away from what's making you feel nervous stricken and fear and uncertain, and while also then listening out to what you're potentially leaning towards. And what you're maybe leaning towards is maybe something safer. And however that reality takes place within you, more or less may be a spiritual dialogue. It could be just a routine, doing things differently on a regular routine of the day, you know, I don't know, changing your toothpaste, changing your hand soap, you know, changing your diet, changing your sexual partners, or the routine in general, sprucing things up, being honest with undisclosed emotions, and being ready for the next because you've been able to address the former. And that mind state, and however neurotic it means to keep a wellness attached to that, that's how loyal you ought to be with yourself. That's how dependent you should be with yourself. That's how much you of a best friend, a romantic partner, you should be of yourself. It's not about you having the right answers for yourself and whatnot, because those answers cannot be validated by someone else. Someone else is not going to validate your answers for you. They're going to validate your existence. However, there's so many other things that happen after that existence that is the honesty factor, right? So there's so many context clues within existing that it's hard to understand what to hold on to. So it becomes fundamental for a lot of people to hold on to religion, or at least culture, food, thirst, work, death, birth, living, and then love, and how to intertwine all of that into some sort of breathable existence. Oh, the love variant reading. Various ways. It jumps from host to host. Some of you have been jumping around from like partners to partners and have not been feeling very successful. What you have been pumping up though is your ego, because you more or less are starting to have a better understanding of what the mechanisms of yourself are asking for in order to feel zhuzhed up or rejuvenated or tickled or enthralled and enticed or charmed or flirted with. You're more or less beginning, building, developing, maturing that relationship with yourself. Yet the delivery of expression with a moment is off kilter, and might be the reason why you're showing up to readings, or why you're showing up to virtual counseling, or therapy of any kind, life coaching, counseling. Like, there is a need for someone to kind of like actualize their life and feel that they have some sort of like control of it, that they're adulting well. And whether or not you're doing well is like, I don't know. Like I'm busy. I have my Monday through Sunday checked off, and then it's like a Monday through Sunday routine over and over and over again and over and over and over again. And then pop goes the weasel at one point, and so much time has gone by, and maybe there's a time and a moment where you reflect of how much time has gone by, and you can see your growth and your evolution, and your revolutionary ways are showing up to yourself for this type of evolution of self to take place. And then there's a way that there's I don't want to say a lack, or I don't even want to say a missing of some kind. Maybe it's called a replacement, wanting to replace something. Because you want to just experience something different. For some, it's a very deep wish that they don't want revealed, that it's a wish of a different partner, because they've been maybe within a relationship for so long and it's been having too many dry spells, or what feels dried out is starting to erode. And that's where this foundation is becoming more dangerous for this individual to be like, all right, I'm going to have to answer to something. And it's harder and harder and harder to ignore that siren. The siren of desire is getting louder in their ear. And the issue with that is that it wasn't created then. For anyone who's listening to this and is feeding their consciousness of whether or not their partner is to blame, or if you are the one to blame for this, it wasn't born right now. This was created a while ago, okay? And by while ago, I mean like lifetime chapters, okay? This happened a long time ago. And it has influenced this now. And whatever this is, it's an opportunity to be truthful, because truth is stranger than fiction. And to be able to intertwine that into an honest, lovable dialogue, you might be very estranged now to the idea that your partner, who is maybe triggering this reality for you right now, you might be surprised on how you might just be triggering the right dialogue by having an honest conversation with them. Because maybe what you're subtly are meant to explore with one another is the ability to explore your shadow aspects with each other. The things that are maybe a bit taboo, a bit rebellious, a little bit off kilter, a little bit, tickle to the belly, a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more flirtatious, a little zhuzh, a little creme de la creme. You get the point. I'm realizing I have headphone in and I'm not listening to any music. I gotta put on some music, so give me 1 second. One day I'll be able to be in a comfortable position of music. I get flagged. Whatever. Alright. Oof. It is necessary, y'all, to listen to that anger and teach that anger. Some of y'all, it's gonna have to be like a whippersnapper, and whip y'all into some sort of exertive energy that is not having to do with like sexual energy exchange, okay? Like, for God's sakes, I can't do a solid pull-up for the life of me, but you know, I myself gotta hit the push-ups, you know? That type of answering and just needing to do it and not having to have the money in order to have that subscription plan, and even for the $10 that you're gonna be like, fuck off, the $10 builds up, I don't want to. Like, your gut instinct is telling you no, but your ego is like, yeah, I want to show off my Planet Fitness membership and be like my selfie in the gym, you know, my retro fitness and my crunch, you know, my blink. Like, I want to be in that like wave of, yeah, I haven't forgotten how to manifest, y'all. I can step up and rise to the occasion and get the things that I want, you know, and wait for the things that wait upon me. And then it's like money gone there, and you're not there. Money lands all the way over there and you're not over there to know what's happening with your money. You're never gonna make it over there. You know, to get away from that emotional, almost like leechy, demonic energy from society, that to only be a good person is to spend this money and to show up in this fashion, because if you don't, you are a shit human being and you are worthless and poor, is absolutely incredulous, and it is disgusting, and it is a spit to the face of how ether, you can't recreate ether. You can't recreate ether. You have the ability to mock her, but you can't recreate her. And to not be able to recreate ether, and then to kind of like give her an attitude just because you have a mouthpiece and you can talk, it's a bit counterintuitive, you know? Yeah, there is a need to answer to something, and that pressure to answer to it is going to heighten, and it's going to feel 1,000 times denser if it hasn't hit your door over the last 4 years, since we've been knocking on the door of ether's doorstep of your life. On ether's doorstep of your life, huh? AKA 2020, okay? And yeah, it's just gonna take some time to understand the value of that question. To understand that no answer is a fucking good answer, because almost any answer would be part of the problem. So, what does it mean to meditate? Sit your ass down and enjoy the space. If your body leans a little bit because it's tired, allow yourself to lean a little bit because it's fucking tired. Ultimately, you should know the righteous path of what's right and what's wrong. That's where you benefit the most, the better relationship you have with emotional intelligence of yourself and others. And that gets applied to how well your relationship of love language for yourself is, and the discovery of what it may be, and how it interlaces itself with other people, and how when people discover themselves while still being connected to you or involved with you one way or another, that being able to recognize those moments and, yeah, be angry that it happened or that you were a witness to it, but that you're so emotionally past that need of their needing to discover it, that's a slap in their face for the point that they needed to waken up. They literally had to slap themselves awake into the situation, and they needed you to be a witness of that. That's a nice way to learn how to re-empower yourself into a narrative that it might take a long time to heal from, but at least a reflective moment of looking at how your life was altered or life was changed or perspective needs maturing or humbling, that you can do it with sophistication. You can do it with pragmaticism. You can do it with empowering energy, making impact, and never having to murder somebody's feelings. So how do we look at opportunity in the face while we try to align ourselves with all this passion? Is trying to figure out again what the pushback is in life, right? What is causing us to be angry? What's causing us to be passionate? What triggers our fight? What triggers our flight? What triggers our sensuality? What triggers our vulnerability? What triggers our honesty? What triggers our dishonesty? And in that whole entire jigsaw of the maze of life that we have to get to expand this adventure on, the only one that's judging ourselves is our ego, because we're constantly in battle with our ego, trying to either justify whether or not we have it and how it's responsible for 99.99% of the things that you have, either working for or against you, and either with or against someone else, and knowing that it's this small, although it has massive influence, it's this small of who you are, just a little tiny lick. Because if you understood the expression of where it comes from, or why it's so 99.99% in charge of what you do, is because of the force field of the power that influences the ego that is attached to you. So to be able to streamline the various ways of the intricate details of who you are is to have a love language with yourself. And the closer you are to having this love language for yourself and being able to bring it to a flow of truthness, of speaking it out loud first and foremost, looking yourself in the eye, in the face of the mirror, and being able to be honest and understanding what that honesty react as, whether you see yourself getting nervous, or you see yourself getting dismissive and won't even look yourself in the eye, where you get a little panicky, where you get a little angry or sweaty. There are so many emotions that are also trying to communicate with you in a moment where you are in full disclosure with yourself, and having that symbiosis with yourself and understanding how that dialogue can begin is how well you can either replenish your current relationship, let go of a no longer functioning relationship, or admit that now it's the time to enter into a form of connection. It's endless opportunity. It's limitless. However, the bumps are on the road to nirvana is however you feel your faith and your belief keeping you grounded in any singular moment. Because your faith and your belief don't have to exist in order for everything in that situation, that moment, to exist. Yet your faith and your belief and how you trigger those two words and maybe other words for this oracle of existence to be something, that's your own own engine going. That's your own inner ingenuity. And that's contingent on so many different things, all unique to you. And those are the only, let's say, illusions, because again, that's whatever you pay attention to will be your reality. Whatever you avoid will also be your reality. I see a lot of you walking away from a lot of things that took building up to whatever 2024 was for you. There's so many things that a lot of you worked on, whether it's the work, whether it's the relationship, that you anticipated 2024 to be a certain way, and it hit the target. Like, you were very close to it, that you more or less achieved it. And it took all the years previously to understand what 2024 was supposed to always mean for you, and what it now ends up having become for you as we now enter 2025. And what that means on a collective global scale for the majority of people, depending on their universe, subjectifying themselves with that, more or less 99.99% chance they're going to be 100% exposed to it anyway, because even if they don't celebrate December 31st 2024 as their New Year's, and they celebrate New Year's maybe in October, they're still going to be writing December 31st 2024, and they're still going to be writing January 1st 2025. So their faith and their belief and how well it fits in the collective global thing is completely illegitimate. It's only pressing and legitimizes your world and your understanding of your universe, and how your universe reacts to everyone else's universe, and then the universe in totality. So a lot of you are legitimately, it's no longer, a lot of you understand what Mercury retrograde, for example, is, okay? If you're set on understanding what Mercury retrograde is for 2025 forecast, go ahead and tickle your fancy if you want to, and do some predictions of yourself if you have a dialogue of what you think Mercury retrograde is all about. And I promise you, there is the Mercury retrograde kind of coming in a cycle of 2025, and you're gonna realize that nothing of the past is coming back for you. There's something going to happen in the atmosphere of what you always knew. This is gonna make sense for those individuals who understand the cycle, the karmic influence of the flow of Mercury retrograde dialogue, okay? And whatever you kept yourself from avoiding, or at least or you wanted to illuminate in every Mercury retrograde, it's going to be shifting. It's your reality, your perspective on Mercury retrograde alone. The topic is going to blow your mind on how it hits your world, influences your psyche, and adds flair to your own aptitude of emotional intelligence, because that's going to be telling on how well you show up to self-care and self-love, and how you show up to the dialogue of just it, and how you show up to the dialogue of a current or future energetical exchange of loving energy. there's something going to be very choppy about this and very finite about this energy, okay? I feel like the majority, there's no telling that you feel it. And majority who feel it are stepping into it in like a dial tone of spiritual warriors, I would say, and showing up to their act of service and being on that lane to understand what they can't understand, but at least they can participate on a parallel frequency of just as powerful, if not influential and pragmatic, because it's something that you can evolve yourself with, and something that might have reward because you're involved with it. You're going to participate in that type of energy and that type of focus, and you're going to lean to those energies. There's a big shift, and the shift comes in cycles. There's a first shift happening now where the people are shifting, cutting their cord to the past right now, and then the second wave is going to come in about the springtime, and then the third shift is going to be about like the almost beginning stages of harvest of 2025, like the 3 waves, and they're all knowing they're going to change right now. They all knew that this is going to come some way or somehow yesterday. The impact of when it might show up might be in that flow. Okay, so some of you just don't want to go into blindedly, and that's smart. Just also know that there is no facet of what can be taken away from you to make you be able to see more or have you see less. There's nothing that needs to alter, okay, besides an internal something. An internal something either needs to be pushed a little longer or pulled back a little bit, or that's it, to be able to understand what it's trying to understand within yourself. It's just a lot. It's like, it's not just this one aspect, it's multi-dimensional. Yeah, completely severing yourself from the past here, okay? Like, there is no more, it's just, I know I'm totally aware that a majority of you are just going to be triggered via me, something that you already know, because I'm more or less, I'm going to probably tell you something that you already knew. Some of the reader probably already has mentioned it. Ending of a cycle. It also might make logical sense. 2024 is ending. 2025 is beginning. So there's a lot of like common sense to these things, but if we don't go with the power of the common sense, we don't understand the definition of what it means to entertain the sense of common that's not common and bringing common sense to it, okay, and making it teachable. Some of you are learning that you can't really trust everything, right? Like, I mean, that's for sure. How do you define trust, though, right? How do you define what you can trust into, who to trust, or how to spend a moment, or how to protect your future moments and provide and keep it from being violent, less, or diminished chaos? Like, how do we show up to that, right? How do we create more beauty if we want more beauty? There are so many questions that I feel that I think we do have answers to. the answer will lead back to you, because there is a student, a teacher, a master, a child, and an elder, all within you. And they all have different personalities. They all have their weaknesses and their strengths. They all have their maturities. They all have their immaturities. They all have their perfectionist ways of doing things. They all have their talents, their hobbies. And they're all you. And all of them are pivotal in being influential, to say the least. And the ether is more intrigued and the quote-unquote crazy aspects to be a bit more normalized. Like a lot more normalized. Because the veil has been removed for several years now. And there is a reality that is almost more entertaining outside of screens and the TVs and smartphones, that not everybody is leaning into it and realizing that, wow, that is actually way more entertaining than what you think is entertaining via your AI right now in the metaverse of things. This ether is really fucking entertaining. And if your AI you think is the smartest motherfucker out there, imagine getting into a relationship with the one that's the most cleverest of them all. Which is also the birther of your AI and the birther of all of that jazz. No. Alright, let's go with this one. A lot of people need to learn how to divorce themselves from emotional need that another person, or that they think another person will fulfill for themselves. It's a long cry from paternal issues. Like, Tarot card here again. It's a long cry for maternal and paternal issues to kind of take effect and really cause severe timelines down the road, because the wrong parents decided to love each other, or they thought they loved each other, or the wrong people decided to care, or the wrong people, I don't want to say the wrong people decided to care, that's wrongly said. I think that's misspoken. I think the goal here is to try to say there were more than one individual who actually cared a lot. However, the way they engaged this form of caring within their life does not and did not match the other contestants. And they decided to still mesh, although they knew it wasn't a symbiosis that both felt natural in procreating in. And so there you have how a spring chicken can lay hundreds of eggs, and it just being like, okay, we ain't gonna say it's a problem, but we're all gonna have to admit it's a bit of a problem here. All these kids running around here and running amok. Are we gonna hate the little children? No. Beautiful, innocent little children. But hello, who's responsible? Okay? That kind of knowing when to pull back and when to push forward of a sense of responsibility, all while knowing you're responsible of yourself first and foremost. Because you can have a DNA connection and someone be biological and all that shit and be like, you know what? No. You created me. I came out of you somehow or another, either cut or out of the womb, the hoo-ha, whatever. But I do not claim you. That's very real. Seven of Swords of energy. Seven of Swords is here, y'all. I don't know if y'all know how usually I get so pissed with the Seven of Swords showing up. This is very delayed, pissed off energy. All right. And that's good because that's how risen we need to be within ourselves to be like, yeah, I see the kind of bullshit that's around me, but that doesn't mean I have to engage it, but doesn't mean I don't see you. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Magician. I see you. I know what it is. I know what time of clock it is. You know, I understood the assignment, but don't fuck with me and let me not fuck with you. At the same time, there is a physical dance with this, and this is what's also causing the toxicity. Okay, there's a rupture of emotional greed that's gonna just tear at all the shit that's running amok here, and then you're gonna realize at the end everything's set ablaze. There's a smoke in the air and smoke in the back, and everything's burnt out. This is just a burnt out situation, and it's just time. It's time for what is burnt out to be left the fuck alone so it can replenish itself, so it can rejuvenate itself. And maybe time for you to be reminded that lungs are regenerative organs, or said to have the science to regenerate themselves, okay? I like how the word is science. Lungs have the science to generate themselves. Science came after the fact that people discovered the fact that the lung can regenerate itself. Science didn't say that. It's the lung recreated itself, regenerated itself, and we were like, oh, we just witnessed it happened. That is crazy. That's why we need to be like, all right, yeah, you can science fiction it all, you can science fact it all, you can hashtag it all, you can data it all, you can censor it all, you can false flag it, you can false whatever, you can say hashtag facts and algorithm, then whole search engine optimization all you want. But there's one massive energy of a nuclear bomb that will make sure she keeps running for her or himself. Well, everything else acts like independent from it and is like, I'm an independent life force energy and I'm all running amok on my own. I'm independent. I'm the fool on my journey. I'm an atheist. I'm a Christian. I'm Catholic. I'm Protestant. I'm Lutheran. Blah blah blue 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 blue. We're human too. Oh, but a human has to think, and a human has feelings, and a human has to be religious, and a human hasn't. I don't know what all that was. Fuck. Queen of Wands. She over it, man. Like, she's over it. She's over the fakeness. She's over the and she's just over it. Okay. She just gonna come out. What you saying? And smack that smack the common sense in you. Okay. And for others, y'all are really trying to lean closer to righteous flow. It doesn't mean that every decision is perfect and yippee and woo. Nope, that's not what it means. It actually means that, oh, we gotta go through the trenches and we gotta make sure, let everybody know that we have risen today. And that I'm louder than the demons. And that I'm louder than the Luciferian act of whatever shit is out there. Okay? And I am sovereign. I am to affirm my reality. I am the eye of seeing myself. And surrender to the eye of seeing of all, and learning how to swim in that existence, and learning that every decision of being with someone is a gift, and the moment that it is an argument is also a gift. And you have to decide whether or not you want to be around that ongoing situation that's a gift all the fucking time. Do you want to argue all the damn time? Do you consider that as a positive gift? Or do you want to give the gift that keeps on giving? Which is never having to argue at all. So 2025 is going to be fucking fundamental. 2025. Add those two together. What do we have, y'all? 9. Even the ether is throwing up her hands and it's like, nah, I'm not going to show you everything. Some of this shit is going to stay secret. And a secret is not a secret, because the moment it's said that it is a secret, it's no longer a secret. You want to hear exact words of this exposure. And it's not going to be made that clear. It's like the sneaky snake coming in. Get the fuck out of the way. You know? Transformative Kundalini coming in and rupturing the shit out of you. Taking you out of a place that you thought was home and putting you somewhere completely fucking different and be like, you sure that place was your home? You felt very comfortable, huh? What did you just land in now, though? What does it look like? Does it look better than the past that you thought you were so comfortable in? Or some of y'all sitting in the car or behind a laptop, on the phone somewhere, in the subway, in a cab somewhere, listen to any type of tarot reading, including this one. Knowing damn well something might turn off and you're like, snap back into a boomerang of your world and your existence. Being pulled out into a possibility all the way over here and snap back into your resistance, into your existence with resistance? No, you're resisting. With resistance. I think the most interesting part is that people are so afraid of themselves, which is an irony, because they will rather fuck everybody else over than get into an alignment with themselves. It's mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing. But the fact that it's like such a nice subtle you're mind blown that I'm a witness to this shit right now makes it easier to be like, you know what, I'm a witness to this. I don't really want to be a witness to this, so I like being a witness to whatever's over there. Maybe I like palm trees. Maybe I want to witness palm trees. So I'm going to put myself in a position to aim towards palm trees or some sandy beaches, you know? Like, whatever will get you to acknowledge that needing to reflect of something in the past, and either in 2025 pattern is gonna make that very fucking clear at one point. One point, it's just gonna just smack like that into your reality, and you're gonna be looking at 2024 and beyond and be like, well, damn, I already knew that I didn't know. And Eva has me on a very interesting bullshit talk, like I bullshit know how to walk my truth and walk my talk and do all this shit and be all this shit and do all that jazz. But at the same time, I don't be knowing anything. You know? And it's like, all right, girl, you do your thing. Say your truth. Slay them demons. And we're talking about this God energy here, all right? The all-knowing energy, the creation energy, the available energy, the free fucking energy. Powerful energy, sustainable energy. She's real, and I've been saying it for a while. This shit gonna be loud, and I know in my community it's been loud. But I needed to be loud in the regular Joe Schmo of the world, like regular John Doe walks out the door and be like, whoa, ether is loud today. The sun is purple. That kind of shit. Yeah. Someone's gonna quote me and be like, she said the sky is gonna be purple. Well, yeah. Oh boy. Alright, this is the last card. Hold on to whatever you can at this time. That doesn't mean hold on to a person. You hold on to a person when this tsunami comes in, you both are drowning. Hold on to yourself. Value yourself. And don't walk all over your own bullshit. And don't think you're going to face the day where you might continuously walk on your bullshit and not meet somebody randomly who's going to exploit the bullshit that you've been keeping hidden for this time, because it's been around. If somebody has been Netflix and chilling and watching all this shit, even however controversial Netflix might be in a conspiracy topic of things, or your Facebook of how you share what your latest what's on your mind thing is, or TikTok, however controversial this shit is, the ether that knows where all the shit is coming from, which means herself, could give a shit what you think the future is going to look like, when she's actually a bit more pressing on the fact on how to keep herself a bit more juiced up and vivacious and voluptuous and catering to all that still need her energy while giving her zero in return. Not blatantly zero, but contextually zero. So yeah, all the people that are like stunned are looking into the ether like, gods, please answer to this, and the gods are speaking in that face, and they're that clear, and they will look upon thy energy and answer themselves to you. And it just will. That's 99.99% a guarantee. They will. They just will. And if you've never experienced anything before, and you think you want to move forward thinking that it doesn't exist, you're going to be the number one target. Ether letting you know that, ooh, there's energy right around you, in front, to the side, behind you, all the way around. That have a better understanding of why things work in this reality and why things don't work in this reality, and you trying to make sense of all that and the emotional weaker one. Interesting. All right. That is all that I'm getting for you at this time. We're going to call it quits. If you'd like any of my services, feel free again to check out any of the links in the description box, and just in general, keep your eyes, ears, senses open for anything else that might be coming your way, as I am going with the ebb and flow of these channels of mine. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, night. Again, I'm wishing you to keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.